Alright, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire all the electronics for the Seakeeper ride. I got the instructions here printed out. Alright, and first, we're going to be installing the distribution module. This is where the tabs are going to be connected to, also the Enemy A2000, and also the power. And they do include this bracket to install it. And let me show you what I did here. Alright, so I found a good place where to install the control module, and it's going to be in here. Alright, so what I did was I removed the battery from here and I placed it on the other side there, on the other compartment. So now there's less weight on this side since the boat is always leaning to one side. So I changed the battery to the other side. Alright, so you see that plate? I glued this plate here with the black adhesive from the installation of the Seakeeper ride. I used the same adhesive, and I cut this nice piece of starboard. So the control module will go here, like that, and it's out of the elements. Now the distribution module is installed, now I'm going to move to the wiring. I'm going to do the connectors. They go in here, in these wires. And I'm going to label this one port. Alright, I got the instructions here. Also, I got the color pattern. Grab the connectors. One of them. And before you do that, make sure you put this weather shield cable that you're going to have to install later with a heat gun. So make sure you put this first before you start doing this. All right, green and yellow has some yellow lines on it. It's going to go right here. Push it in. You feel it click. That's the green and yellow. You have to make sure you put this right, because if you don't, you're gonna have a problem. You can probably burn the system. Then the green one goes here. You can feel them click. Just pull them in and out. See these pins right here? I'm gonna put this pins right in here. These white pins. This is gonna be a dummy pins. Stick them in there. I'm going to plug them since we're not going to use them. Okay, now we're going to go with the purple. Now I'm going to go with the red one. Black and yellow. And the yellow one here. See, I have a color pattern right here that shows me. You can get that in their website. Double check that you got all the colors right. Well, beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to press this down. I'm going to make sure we see all those plugs in there. Alright, I see them all. They're all there. Alright, so now we're going to put the protector here. There's another one on the other side. Make sure the wires are right inside here. Now we're going to put this sleeve right over the cable and start applying heat to it. All right, the shrink wrap came out perfect. You can see it's sealed from every corner. Beautiful. I already have these two connectors ready. Now I'm going to move to the electrical. All right, for the electrical, they provide this wire. It's really long, which is good. You can cut it any size you want. All right, so since we're not going to need all this cable, we're going to leave a little bit of extra cable. Save this cable for later. You never know what you're going to need it for. It's a very nice cable. And this connections right here for the battery. It's right in here. Smack it about twice. Maybe 3 times. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful connections. And I got some shrink wrap here. Look at that, completely sealed. That's what you want. Alright, the system requires a 15 amp breaker or fuse block. I'm going to use a fuse block, 15 amps. Alright, we'll put this other protective cover here. Alright, now that I added a 15 amp fuse block here, I'm ready to install the power cable. Now that I have the Enemy A2000 wire here, have to get one of these backbones and put a male terminator on this side. And this is the wire that's going to go to the control module, and the Enemy A2000 wire is going to go here to this connection here. All right, I'm going to start connecting this. All right, I'm going to use this for the starter plug. This one's going to be the port. Be the power here. And this is going to be the Enemy 2000. All this is done. All right, so this wire has to go all the way inside. Now that I have the Enemy 2000 right back here, with my electronics going to go. Before anything, the switch needs to be on. That little switch you see in there. If it's a Garmin, check with your owner's manual, because mine says if it's a Garmin, turn on number 1. All right, there it is. Number 1 is turned on. Depends on your chart plotter which one you have to turn on. In my case, it's number 1. All right, and some of these new boats, they installed them right down here. One awesome viewer of my channel, he sent me a picture of his pilot house, and they installed it right here. That's where the driver is. Okay, in my case, I have no room there, and up here, I'm gonna have to move the hydraulic hose so I can put the TD50 there. And in this wall here, that's when I put also the communication cables for the Seakeeper. It's gonna be in this wall. And if you look right up here, that's what I have my Enemy A2000 for the whole system that I have here. So that is also going to get connected to this backbone here. All right, so I did a lot of thinking, and I would love to install it right towards the center of the boat. I think it's going to perform a lot better if it's right in the center of the boat. So I'm going to move this Garmin autopilot heading sensor to probably right here, since these cables are going down, and this one's the cables are coming out, so they don't bother me out here. I'm gonna put it right up here, and I'm gonna put this box right down here, and it has to be level. Now you see there's a big gap there, right? So I'm gonna have to custom build a wedge. So this is straightforward instead of sideways like this. So I'm gonna have to build that bracket so I can put it this way. All right, so I cut this piece of starboard. It's gonna go here. So I have to cut it in an angle. So that way when I place it here, this will be flush. Now I have to grind it to level it out here. All right, a perfect wedge. You can see it has an angle already to it. All right, so disconnected. Now I'm gonna move on to the wiring. All right, so right now the autopilot heading sensor is perfectly level too. I put a wedge behind it so it's level, and also the Seakeeper is completely level. Now I'm gonna start with the connections of the NEMA 2000 and the rest of the connections. So right now it's looking good. Man, got those loose parrots in this neighborhood. Okay, this already has a fuse block of 3 amps, and I have a connection right here for it. This connection was where I took out the original trim tabs. There's power here. All right, we got the power already hooked up. All right, we're gonna put the other T for the Enemy A2000. This is the private connection for the system. All right, this is very strong. All right, this is the Terminator female. Got to put it on this side. There it is. If you don't put the Terminator on the Enemy A2000, this is not gonna work. This is the Enemy A2000 that came from the control module close to the transom. All right, that's done already. All right, we're gonna connect the SK wire. All right, the SK wire gets connected right here. Now we're gonna connect this Enemy A2000 to the boat Enemy A system. Not the private one, the public one. All right, so this is the Enemy A2000 public network. This is the private network for the Seakeeper ride. So we're gonna connect this Enemy A2000 to the public Enemy A2000. Now everything is connected. The only thing is the Ethernet cable. But in order to connect the Ethernet cable, I need to connect the Garmin TD50 right here. I need to cut this dash, but in order to cut the dash, I need to take the steering wheel, and also this hydraulic hose is on the way, so I'm gonna need to disconnect this hydraulic hose because the TD50 is gonna go here. All right. All right, I'm gonna put some WD-40. right, to protect that cavity, I'm going to put some 4200 on it. I put some 5200 to protect the wood. Alright, now I'm going to place the TD50. You have to be very careful because it's not recommended to use a drill, because if you miss a screw, you're going to break this glass screen. Now we can put the end caps. It's gorgeous. Now we're going to connect the Ethernet cable and run it all the way to the TD50. Now I need to connect the NMEA 2000, which is here, all the way to up here where I placed already a dedicated NMEA 2000. Alright, everything's connected and leveled. All the wires are nicely tied up. Alright, I'm gonna fire this up. Alright, let's turn this on. Alright, the garment TD50 turned on. Alright, so now we'll go vessel. And you see the Seakeeper right there. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how I am going to calibrate the system.
If you guys would like to make a contribution or buy me a beer, please go to paypal.me/out on the reef USA, and also this link will be in the description below, and any small donation will really keep helping making these videos. Thank you for watching, and always navigate safe.